I want to share with you what's the most revealing thing of your heart. What really exposes where your heart is at. That's a biblical principle I'm going to share with you. And that is your heart. That is your mind. That is your time. Where you spend your mind with your time is the revealer of your heart's condition, is the revealer of your priority, is the revealer of what you love, of what you value, of what you honor. So do an introspect. Look inside of you and judge yourself. Where has your mind been? Where have you spent your time with your mind, with your engagements, with your endeavors, with your developing, with your growing, with your building? Where has it been focused? Because we can say we love God with our lips, but that's not really the measure that is going to be used to know what the love you have for God. That is not the measurement that will determine if you're putting His kingdom first. Once a week on church, that's not going to cut it. That's not going to do anything. If you spend your whole life focusing to build other things, investing your mind on different things, and God is really, truly, not your lips, but your life shows that He's in the last place, then let's just acknowledge it. Let's just acknowledge where we are. Let's not lie to ourselves, right? If God truly is number one, then He has to show through your time, through what you do with what you have, the most precious things. There are two things that are the most precious you have. One is your time, and the other ones is the means by which you accomplish these things, right? That can be your mind, your attention, your strength, your money, because money, what truly money is, it is the ability to blank. You can replace that with anything. The ability to get things moving and get things going in this natural world, right? So money do accomplish many things, and we do need money, right? But the way to have it is not to withhold, is to actually give, because the one that owns the gold and the silver is the Lord Almighty, and the Bible says that the Lord knows how to give seeds to them that sow. He's talking about money in that specific context. Paul is, I believe, 1 Corinthians. He says he gives seeds to the one that sow, right? So that this person may and that person will be rich in every sense, right? So if you're withholding your money, your blessing, then that is revealing where your heart is at, because you're meant to give, you're meant to bless. So money will also reveal where your heart is at. Whenever we talk about giving money to the Lord's house, whenever we talk about giving your finances to the people in need, whenever we start talking about giving money for missions, whenever we start talking about helping their neighbor and loving them as ourselves, people get all anxious because they tell themselves, we're not going to have enough. That's a revealer of your heart. If you truly are about kingdom, then that has to reflect in your finances. How much are you being generous? Are you being generous like you're giving the rest? What do you have left? Are you giving your first fruits? You're giving your best to God. And when I mean to God, I don't only mean giving it to your local church. I also mean helping someone in the streets, that you take on your responsibility to go and bless them somehow, right? Whenever you see someone that is needing some assistance, a brother that might need some help. Look, I have 3 cars, right? Do I really need 3 cars? I have a brother that walks to church every week. He pays a huge price for it. Can I talk to my wife and see, let's give a car. It has to cost you, not just the leftovers. Man, I remember my early years when I just fell in love with Jesus, and He was to ask me to do the most crazy things. And we got to build a history with God that it costs us. It's gonna hurt, yes, but we're telling God, you are my provider. This is how much I believe you. I'm obeying you, and on the flip side of that, I know you're gonna come through for everything that I need, because you are number one in my life, and therefore you make me number one of your priority. Because he looks at me, he says, Vitor, he has skin in the game. Open the records. Look at his righteous deeds here. We're gonna come through for him. That's the right mindset. Instead of saying, we're gonna lack, withhold, don't give. And God's like, you're just positioning yourself for failure. You're just positioning yourself for God to resist you. So again, that's your finances are going to reflect the state of your heart. Again, your time is going to do the same. Where do you spend your time? Are you truly, really going to spend 6 hours a day studying for an exam, studying to pass into your high school year, or to pass in the your bachelor's degree, and you're not going to spend an hour with God a day? Truly, are you going to really, really put all that effort, all that worry into something that is temporal? You might not even end up working with the thing you're studying. Really, is that what you're going to do? That's revealing where your heart is at, because you're valuing that more than an eternal reward. Listen, what you're going to work and do with your life on this earth is temporal. It's passing away. But there are things that are eternal and that are forever. And that is a matter, and that's something only for the visionary, only for the one that see the whole picture, the true vision, and make the right investment. They recognize, they understand their context. I'm on this earth, okay. I'm passing through, okay. What I do for the Lord and seek the kingdom first will last forever. My righteous deed on this earth will be remembered forever. I'm going to receive a reward. But there are other things, which is vanity, is the dreams I made up for myself, is the things that are glorifying the self, the things that is pursuing self. All these are burning away like the chaff, right? The winds are blowing away like the chaff, and they're going to be burned like wood, straw, and hay. The fire is going to test it, and hey, it's gone. It is gone. It might look like wisdom to some. Hey, you're securing your future. You're not securing your future. You secure your future in God, because you can have everything in your hands on this earth and yet not have your future secure, because He is your future. He is the one that withholds you. So don't withhold things. Give, bless, trust. Put Him first. It's going to cost you. It's going to cost you. But you got to decide, are you going to walk by what I see, or am I walk by faith? Because if you want to walk by what you see, then you're going to live the life like everybody else. You're going to look for blessings and finances and security, because you want all of your environment controlled, right? You just want everything to be done to the strength of your own flesh. I'm going to make sure that my future is blessed. But if I give it away like God's telling me, then I'm not being wise, because I won't have my future secure. And God is like, that's the foolishness. That's foolishness to me. That's the wisdom of this world, which to me is foolishness. But the wisdom of God is different. He says, you want to have it, then give it. You want to live the best life now, then lose your life now. You want to live, then die. That's the kingdom. People don't get it. Many people don't get it, and they won't get it, but it's true nonetheless. This is the truth for them that want to hear it and have humility of heart to have access to the deep things of God. And these people, they shall prosper, because they're seeing things through an eternal context and perspective. And more than that, they trust God, because you need faith to do the things that I'm saying here, because it doesn't make sense to the natural mind, but it makes sense to the mind of the Spirit, because God is the provider. He will give all things for them that put Him first, right? So again, where is your time and where is your effort at? Are you trying to build your kingdom through your own strength, relying and trusting your endeavors, in your ability, in your capability? Are you having a mind that looks only to how my life is going to be, and I want it to be controlled, predictable, blessed? Therefore, I'm going to work towards this goal that I built for myself. God is like, what about loving your neighbor as yourself? What about loving the Lord with all of your heart and all of your strength? What about building the kingdom of God and having this be your priority, number one over all things? over all things. You're passing through. Your life is not secure because your life is in him only. Your life is in him only, right? Everything that was given to you was given to you, and one day it will be taken from you. But there are some things that will last, and these are the things that you put in God's hand, and you bless God with the things, with the stewardship of the things he entrusted you. So if you take things that is his, but you act as if they are yours and your responsibility to build your kingdom in yourself, then he's going to take it away. That's not a faithful steward, right? That's not a faithful steward. But if you recognize all that was given to me was given by God, then I'm going to use that for his purposes, for his kingdom. So again, our time is one of the greatest resources we have, and the most valuable things, one of the most valuable things we have, right? What are we doing with it? Can I truly spend, 10 hours a week on Netflix? Really? Watching this series? What does your prayer life look like? Again, that's revealing where your heart is at. Your heart may not be the place where you think it is. Just because you do the Christian duties, right, to alleviate your conscience might not mean that you have a close relationship with God. It has to cost you. You have to pay a price. You have to set up your life in a way that you are structured, right, in order to do and to live a spiritual life. You got to build that foundation. What is it going to look like? Well, I need to spend at least some time fasting. Once a week. Let me fast once a week, right? I need to have some time of prayer. Let that be even 15 minutes a day, but let that be consistent. Personally, I'd rather have something that I'm going to do for the rest of my life. What are these things that I need to do for the rest of my life? Every day, prayer needs to be one of them. Then if it's 15 minutes, then let it be 15 minutes, but let it be for the rest of your life, right? But once you do 15 minutes, you grow to 30 minutes. Sometimes you're just resting God's presence. You don't want to leave that place anymore. And you go to an hour, 3 hours. There's no limit to how much God will allow you to be in his presence, because you might find, hey, this is what I'm made for. This is the delight of my life. But let it be 15 minutes, right? Scripture, that's another non-negotiable. It has to be every day. It's daily bread. It's not, you cannot be satisfied with the bread from a week ago. Daily bread. Let that be a chapter a day. But let it be every day. Let it even be just hearing audiobook, right? Audio Bible, right? If you feel like it was going to help you. But let it be that that's something that you do every day. But you might find out that you might start reading 5 chapters a day. You might realize, hey, I can do 10 chapters a day. But let it be every day, right? That's something that needs to be part of one's life, right? So whenever we value the things the Lord restored us and understand the purpose for which he gave us, then we begin really acting and living this life the way it's meant to be lived. And that's when we are positioned. Whenever we are positioned, God can work with us. When we are not positioned, we are not in position for him to move and do, because he doesn't have a place to land. He doesn't have a means to give us, because we're not positioned. It's just going to fall apart. So, something might not be happening in your life right now, but you don't need to make it happen. You need to be positioned. What are the things that I need to make sure that I'm doing every single day? God will make sure to bring you where you need to be. So you don't need to be working all of these extra hours and to be trying to have more and get more and get more. Well, you're neglecting your family. You're neglecting your time with God. Is there anything more important than you be healthy spiritually and growing in God? No, there's not. So live in a tiny house, need to be, but make sure you're spending time with God. You're trying to really working hard for that promotion. Why? So you can have a better car? Don't you have a car already? Right? What about you looking through spiritual eyes and seeing Jesus looking at you and like, yeah, he's rich. He thinks he's on top of everything, but he's naked. He stinks. He's poor. He's blind. He's like, it's beautiful what I'm seeing. He thinks he's on top of everything because he has the things that the world says, if you have this day, you're doing really well. And God is like, no, the angels are looking at it. It's just like, when are we going to get through with this cycle that this person is stuck, for 10 years? They're stuck in the same cycle. They're not ready to learn what I'm trying to teach them. Then that's when all the calamities come to your life, because God has to shake you and wake you up. Why would you want to subject yourself to this harsh discipline of the Lord when you can just be in obedience and go way faster to your destiny? Because you're in obedience, you're teachable, you're positioned. You're positioned to where you need to be in order for God to work with you. If you're not positioned, God's going to have to break you. He's going to have to resist you because you're proud. And it's just a mess. It's just hard. It's not good for anyone. It's not good for the kingdom. There are people that was waiting for you in your future for you to show up and be a blessing, but you got stuck in this vicious cycle, right? And God is raising other people to go bless them because you're not going to get there because you're stuck, right? So you need to, restructure your whole life and see what are the things I need to do. So it's introspect, right? Where am I spending my time? How am I spending my finances and money? If I have so much, I should be blessing people. Like God is nudging in your heart to go bless and help. He's testing you. Bless, go bless, help. The angels are trying to bring connections because he wants you to be a channel of blessing, but he want to withhold everything. And it's like, it's not going to work, right? It's not going to work. So, let's look at ourselves introspectively and recognize where we truly are. Do I understand the context of my life? Life is radical, y'all. I don't know if y'all know that. You are put on this earth and you have an eternal destiny to be decided upon your life. And you're going to be judged about everything you do, right? Life is radical. There's no way to minimize this. There's not enough of comfort that is going to change that. There's not enough of material blessings that is going to change the fact that you are going to be held accountable for every single thing you do and even the things you don't do. And you're going to have to respond for this, and you will be judged, and there will be an eternal destination for you. Life is radical, so let's live like it. Let's stop thinking that we can just build a little life for ourselves here, and that's going to be fine. No, you're going to die. This spirit is going to leave this body, and your body is going to fall dead in the floor, right? It's going to fall dead in the floor, and you're just going to be another number in the cemetery. You're going to then encounter the living God, the creator of heaven and earth, the one that have his name cried out, holy, 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 right? The one that made you. You'll be judged by him. So let's live life with that perspective. Let's put things in perspective, because just this life of just living for myself, my goals, my plans, what I, that's not going to work. We need to change our mindset, change our flame, and then you start stopping valuing things that are just passing away. My job, what I'm going to do. What about me wasting my life away? The Lord, I think it's John Wimber, he said, Lord, I'm a coin in your pocket, waste me. Waste my life. How you want to use me. Here I am, Lord, send me. My life doesn't matter. Finances doesn't matter. My reputation doesn't matter. I give everything away. Just use me for your purposes. That's the life God is looking for. But for that, you got to die. And for you to die, you got to put his desires first. You got to put his will first, his plan first. What is aching in his heart? What is he feeling? What he's desiring? And stop looking at me, how I'm going to do it, how I'm going to make it. That's the relevant in light of eternity, right? He's going to use the gifts and talents he gives to you, but it has to be for the kingdom. Then you will be truly blessed in the real sense of the world, right? In the real sense of the word. But we need to look at ourselves introspectively and recognize, where am I and where do I need to be? I need to know where am I going with this? And where do I want to be? Where am I going? We need to know that.